So the timer's going to come out right away. Let's see, timers, 5 minutes, because I love to talk, so I don't want to get ahead of myself. And then we will start reading when the timer goes off. How's everybody doing today? I am sending everybody amazing, wonderful, loving vibes. I hope you've had a wonderful Monday, a magnificent Monday, I'll say. Sometimes I need a motivational Monday, because life gets hard sometimes. But with all you beautiful people, you guys make it better every day. Thank you so much. I love the hearts. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here, everybody. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thank you, Tanir. You know how you go, Natalie? I'll be like, Tanir, in the house. I love your lives, girl. They get lit. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I'm going to talk for a few minutes before I get started so I can let a few people get in here. We'll see how it goes. If I read for too long, you guys will tell me. I'll read the comments. We'll see what goes on and everything like that. How's everybody's Monday been? I hope it's been fantastic. Regardless, I'm sending you wonderful, amazing vibes. Hi, Regina. Thank you for coming over here. I appreciate it. And thank you for commenting too. I really appreciate that as well. I hope everyone has had a great Monday. I know everyone sometimes says Mondays are hard, but if you start off with a good mindset, you can have an amazing week. And I know that's easier said than done, but if I can do it, you can do it. And we can do it together. Hi, Weston. I am doing good. How are you? Thank you for joining me. When my timer goes off, I'll start the reading. I think this is going to be something like, not technically ASMR, but just get comfy in your bed. Listen to me read. Hi, Cowboys Nation. Hello, Sarah. Thank you. Everyone that's here from Tanir, I really appreciate you guys. You guys are special. Orange Heart Gang, I'm going to get a shirt. I'm going to get a journal. And then I'm going to get my daughter a hoodie. So you're going to see that come through because you're going to have to mail it to me. Merch sounds good. It looks beautiful too. That's so exciting. You're making big moves. I'm super proud of you. Keep on pushing. Even, it's so crazy to think some of the happiest people go through depression. Isn't that crazy? I hope everyone, if you ever have dark days, I hope that you can get out of them. Think positively. I know that's so much easier said than done, but I promise the harder that you think positive thoughts, the more positive your thoughts will be. I promise. Yes, of course I remember you, Weston. How could I not? I hope you're doing great. I hope today is wonderful for everybody. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I do get it that reading for 10 minutes could be kind of a long time since I won't be looking at the chat, but I appreciate you guys being in here. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm going to say this, Cowboys Nation. I don't like the Cowboys. So it makes me sad. I have to say, hi, Cowboys Nation. Hi, Cowboys Nation. Hi, Cowboys Nation. But for you, I'll say it because I appreciate you. So I'll say it for you. I don't hate them that much, Yes, Redskins all day. Or I guess Washington Commanders now, huh? Yes, I will. Okay, thank you. Here we are. Thank you guys. Thank you for hanging in there with me. Okay, great. Thank you guys. So I think I'm just going to be starting reading for 10 minutes. We'll see how it goes. If it's too long, I'll shorten it up. I may just be reading to you guys, reading you to bed. You know what I mean? So get ready, get comfortable, because I'm going to be reading. And you might just be nodding off, going to bed to the sound of my voice. It might soothe you. You never know. Loving your channel as always. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Sending you good vibes every single day. You know I do. I always think of you. I really like your fit, and you are beautiful and gorgeous and cute and stunning and amazing. And so are you, Weston. Inside and out. You are a champion as well. I really appreciate all your kind words. Thank you so much. Thank you for everyone that's in here. I really appreciate it. Please like if you're in here. Thank you. Thank you. Ooh, wine and relax sounds just right. Right down my alley. For real. I love those nights, especially when you can just get comfortable, relax. Reading is so soothing. It's good for the heart. It's good for the soul. You guys should read or listen to me read, whatever works for you. And then when I'm done with my books, I will take suggestions. I'll read books that you guys like. I don't mind at all. I love reading. So I worked today, but now I'm here to read to you guys. So let's just get into it, okay? I'm going to do 10 minutes. We'll see how it goes. And don't pay any mind to the trolls, okay? Here we go. The Alley by Mingo Rubio Jr. We are reading for 10 minutes. I got to find a way to keep that up for you guys to see it count down. Alley by Mingo Rubio Jr. Let's get into it, you guys. To my little girl, Giselle. I would like to share with you one of my stories, one that I've thought about and decided to write. I hope that you find it interesting and not boring. It's a tale filled with suspense, courage, and fright. It brings back some memories from when I was a kid. Most of it is fictional, but there is an alley and I was 15. And some of the things I wrote about, I actually did. Though a few of these incidents are a little extreme. Well, the night this began was as normal as any other. I was playing with some of my friends in the hood. We were real close. To me, they were like brothers, and we'd all hang out together as much as we could. We would often talk about the troubles we were having. We would lay it all out and sort of compare notes. And by the end of the night, we'd all wind up laughing because we all knew we were all in the same boat. So we played games to keep us from stressing, and at first our games were just to have some fun. Eventually, we'd find other things more interesting. Then we were left wondering what we had done. On that particular night, we met at the apple tree, which as a matter of fact wasn't an apple tree at all. Nevertheless, that was where all of us would meet. That night, there were only 8 of us, as I recall. I really didn't know how the tree's name originated. It was just what the homies called it many years ago. But that old tree was where we always congregated. It was also a hangout for some old neighborhood winos. I thought the tree was haunted. It seemed a little weird, and sometimes at night it was a little frightening because of all the creepy noises you would hear, and it had a long history of being hit by lightning. But we didn't care. We would all meet there anyway. And that night, there were a few clouds in the sky. We'd meet there to decide on what games to play, and Help Tag was the game we'd play that night. My friends and I would usually try to get together about an hour or so before the sun went down. We would play our games in all kinds of weather, and sometimes we'd wind up playing all over town. We would usually hang out late until 11:30, but I had to make it home before my stepfather. More times than not, he would even wait up for me, and if I were late, he'd get all hot and bothered. You see, my real father left us when I was only 10, though there have been many rumors as to why. Some people say he left us for another woman, but I felt that was not true. We were his whole life. I lived day to day waiting, anticipating for his return, and each day the sun went down, so did my hopes. I was already 15, living a life of shame I hadn't earned. I was finding it more difficult every day just to cope. Right then, all I had were the guys I hung around with, and honestly, most of them were worse off than me. We'd always talk about life being better than this when we would hang around that old apple tree. I often talked about going and looking for my old man, and then that I was older, that day was coming soon. At least for the moment, that was kind of what I had planned, but right then, there was really nothing that I could do. I guess that was why I like to hang out with friends. I kind of felt free to just get away from the bullshit. In fact, you wouldn't find me at home very often. With my stepfather, it was just too much of a conflict. I had written in the letter just a little earlier before. On that particular night, there were 8 of us in all. But usually when we played, there were a few more. I guess the others decided to go to the pool hall. Sometimes we'd go to town and play in the streets, and let me tell you, some nights weren't so good. Most of the time, we'd wind up running from the police, and they'd chase us all the way back to the hood. But that particular night, we all wanted to have fun. We wanted to play Help Tag, a game we liked a lot. To avoid being captured, you had to hide and run. The winner of the game was the last man caught. It was somewhat similar to playing hide and seek, but with no home base, you had to run a true test. If you were it, first you'd catch the slow and weak, and then they would help you try to catch the rest. And if you weren't it or captured yet, that was good. For me, this game was a lot of fun and very exciting. And I knew every hiding place in the neighborhood, but I'd spend most of my time running, not hiding. First, we had to figure out which guy would be it. So before we began, we all decided to flip a coin. And the guy that was it that night liked to talk shit. He said, "I'm catching you tonight." His name's Troy. For the most part, this night wasn't any different, other than the moon having a certain glowing light. A glowing moon, I didn't think it was that significant, but later on in the story, I would certainly learn why. When we started, we really didn't see the moon. It was there, but it was covered by a lot of clouds. But it looked like the clouds would clear up soon, uncovering the mystery that this story is all about. Among my friends, Petey was also there with me, as we were already ready to play our so-called game. Today, most of my friends are just a fond memory. RJ, Tim, Roy, CW, Troy are some of their names. Most have moved away and now live somewhere else. I used to ask around whatever happened to them. Sadly, I found most of them already occupied prison cells, in and out of prison, never living a normal life again. I'd often wondered why I didn't turn out the same. Maybe someday I'd find the answer to that question. But let me put that aside and get back to the game, so please excuse my brief moments of digression. I told Petey, "Hey, come with me, and you might win." At a chance at winning, he said, "Okay, Mingo, I'll go." The whole idea of winning really appealed to him. I knew that it would be a challenge for me, though. Petey was my best friend, almost like my brother, but you've got to keep up. We'll be running a lot. Petey was slow, a lot slower than any of the others, and usually he was one of the first to get caught. As Troy started counting down, the game began, so everyone ran to their particular hiding places. Troy cheated, though. He saw where everyone ran. Nevertheless, Petey and I were off to the races. I didn't know how long he could keep up with me. I was just hoping that he wouldn't be caught first. He didn't know how to hide, and he ran like a tree. Petey was real bad at this game. He was the worst. I would try to show him a few tricks that I knew that would help him avoid capture a little longer. I felt sorry for the poor guy. What else could I do? I was trying to help his game get a little stronger. The first one that was caught in a previous game was usually it when the next game would start. And if it happened to be Petey, it wasn't the same. He ran too slow to catch anyone, but he tried hard. Eventually, everyone would be chasing after me. It seemed like almost every game ended this way. And I'm sure they noticed that I had taken Petey. I bet they all figured that we would be easy prey. They knew if he ran a lot, he would tire rather quickly, and sooner or later they would find where we were at. We'd run and hide, and then we'd move lickety-split. Sometimes while he caught his breath, we would chat. I knew they felt with Petey we wouldn't last too long. They thought we'd be the first guys apprehended. I had to admit, I really wanted to prove them wrong. I wanted Petey to win before this game had ended. The game played out as I expected, almost routine. Everyone had already run off and found a place to hide. What was to happen later, I couldn't have foreseen. When I think about it then, I keep asking myself why. After about an hour, the game had progressed a bit, and I noticed most of the guys had been caught. In fact, I thought all the guys playing were already it. That time, they were the only ones left. Things got hot. We were then being chased by all of the guys. My plan worked perfectly. Then it was just us two. Sometimes when we rested, I'd look up at the sky. The clouds were there. The clouds were still there. Then I saw the moon. To me, it looked different. It had a certain glow. It made it easy to see the guys, even in the dark. Petey got tired and says, "Go on, man, I'm too slow." I said, "Keep running. I think I see some sort of park." We could see the guys as we lay in some weeds, and from that distance, I heard one of the guys say, he told them, "I think this is where I last saw Pete." And it just so happened to be our last hiding place. So I got up from the weeds to take a look around, and suddenly I noticed something kind of strange. That I wasn't at all familiar with this part of town. Then my well-planned strategy suddenly changed. I told Petey we had to run and hide in a nearby field, but first we had to cross over some railroad tracks. I said we could use the berm sort of like a shield, and it just might work if we lay flat on our backs. He asked, how will we see them if they get near? Won't they see us if we were to lift up our heads? Then out of my pocket, I pulled out a small mirror. Then I replied, not if we were to use this instead. As we took our so-called positions on the ground, Petey said, you're the man. He was giving me props. I said, hey, have you ever been chased by the hounds? He answered, chased by dogs? I said, no, I mean cops. I said, we've got to be quiet. They're getting close. And my little mirror trick was then put to the test. Dang, that kind of went by fast, don't you guys think? It went by fast for me. Okay, let me put 5 minutes so I don't talk too much. Hi, Simply Shayla. Hi, Splice. You are the best. Hi, Jeremiah. Hello. Thank you for talking to the chat. Okay, wait, we don't want to do 10 minutes. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Tanir. Thank you for keeping up the chat. Thank you for the hearts, everybody. Thank you for everybody that liked. Please be respectful while I'm reading. My mods are the best, so they will kick you out. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening. I'm really grateful for everybody that has stopped by and anyone else that does. I'm not sure if Cowboys Nation is still here or not, but this is the elf lip gloss that I got. This is the princess cut one. Making me say Cowboys Nation again. I'm just kidding. But yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm trying out darker lip liner and then the lip gloss. I'm still a little nervous on the dark colors on my lips. Hi, Tanir. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for everybody that liked the live. I am so grateful for you guys. I am so grateful that you guys stopped in. I'll be doing this once a week. When I get back, we'll get the schedule down because I want to coordinate with everyone else, and I still want to be able to support my people on YouTube as well. I don't want to miss out on my friends' lives too because they get crazy. So I like to be in there, you know, getting all into the lives. It gets crazy at night. The trolls really do come out at night. They come out and they say the craziest things to people, but I guess they'd have nothing better to do, so. Yeah, see, I'm telling you. Thank you, Tanir. This is Natalie's book club stream. Please be respectful. Like the live and please subscribe. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. Elf needs to, for real, they need to be sponsoring you. I got it goes under everything too, the Elf grip, the primer. It is so good. The best primer I've ever used. Elf needs to sponsor you. I'm gonna make a video saying that because they need it. They're late. They're late to the party. Elf is good and it's affordable. That's the best thing, is the products are good. Elf is good and it's affordable. So that's, who doesn't love everything being affordable, right? I need more light in here. I didn't know it was gonna get this dark so quickly. All right, let me check our timer, guys. Okay, 2.5 minutes and then I'll pick up. Anybody that's in here, I'll ask later too, but definitely 10 minutes is too long. Maybe I should do 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes. I'm just testing the waters, seeing how it goes. I love to read, so I could read forever without stopping. It makes me happy, makes my heart good. Yes, Tanir. I'm gonna send those vibes up. I'm gonna put them out there. You got big things coming your way, girl. I'm so proud of you. I'm still nervous. I've already been on here for almost 20 minutes and I'm still nervous. It's crazy. Thank you all for being here. I am so grateful for you guys. You have no idea. Every like, every subscribe, it makes me so happy. And every comment too, it makes my day. Weston, I'm not sure if you're still in here, but I appreciate all your comments. You are amazing too. You are a champion too. And you are beautiful inside and out too. 10 minutes is cool with me. I just don't want to lose people. I know a lot of people be going through the streams and then if they don't know what's going on or no one's paying attention to them, they just dip. But I'm grateful for you guys being here. Thank you to anyone who came from Tanir's page. You guys are the real ones. I appreciate it. Hello, handsome. How are you? You haven't texted me. We've got things to talk about, like the Grand Canyon. Thank you for hopping on here. I'm grateful to see you here. Ooh, we got 1 more minute till we pick up. That person is driving without lights. It's crazy how many people drive without their lights around here. That scares me because my daughter just got her license and she's out there in the streets with people with no lights. Just wilding. The streets are wild, y'all. I was not made for the streets. I'm an inside the house kind of girl. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate everybody. My minute is almost up. We're about to read for another 10 minutes and then I will be back. Please be respectful in the chat, you guys. I really appreciate anybody that's here being my mod. You guys are the best. I appreciate you. And I know if you have to go, I get it. So I understand life, but I appreciate it. Yeah, see, sorry. Okay, here we go. Let's reset this for 10 minutes. All right, y'all. Be back in 10. All right. As we took our so-called positions on the ground, Petey said, "You're the man." He was giving me props. I said, "Hey, have you ever been chased by hounds?" He answered, "Chased by dogs?" I said, "No, I mean cops." I said, "We've got to be quiet. They're getting close." And my little mirror trick was then put to the test. Then I noticed that the wind was starting to blow. I glanced over at Petey. He was lying on his chest. I said, "Why do you have your face to the ground?" It was hard trying to keep from laughing at the guy. I said, "Come on, Petey, roll over and turn around. Now get on your back so you can face the sky." As I lay there quietly, I then noticed this awful smell that was somehow carried along with the breeze. Where the stench was coming from, I couldn't tell, but it was so foul it damn near made me sneeze. As I lay there looking up, trying to hold my breath, I suddenly noticed that the moon had risen higher, and the guys were still looking for the two that were left. Then Petey quietly said, "Hey man, I'm really tired." I said, "Hang in there, Petey, it won't be long now." But I still wasn't ready to surrender to those guys. Then I heard a loud noise. It sounded like a howl, and it happened to be a lot closer than I realized. Then Petey said, "Hey man, what the hell was that?" I said, "I don't know, but the guys also heard it too. And sooner or later they'll find out where we're at. So before they get too close, we had better move." The guys started heading in our general direction, but they really hadn't discovered where we were. So we crawled along the ground to avoid detection. I didn't think they saw us yet, but I wasn't too sure. On the other side of the field was a road or a path, and I saw that it led to some sort of alley or callejon. The guys were telling jokes. I could hear them laugh. I knew Petey was tired. I said, "Hang in there, Holmes." I knew then that the inevitable would be here soon. Suddenly, one of the guys yelled out, "There they are!" They'd seen us because of the light of the moon. Then Petey said, "Well, man, at least we made it this far." In a last-ditch effort to try to escape, I told Pete, "They're closing in fast. This is what I have in mind. If we're captured together, the winner will be me, and if all of this would have been a waste of time." I made up a plan so he could get the victory today. Otherwise, his chances of winning were very slim, because I knew exactly what the others would say. But he was with you. They didn't want Petey to win. "If you want to win this game, Petey, do as you're told." I said, "Listen up, man. There's no time to dilly-dally. I'll create a diversion. You haul ass to the road. Once you see them chasing me, slip into the alley. Go in there and hide. Make sure to pick a good spot. But for them guys to catch me, they'll have to run. Then you can come out, but only after I get caught. Then you'll know for sure that you have finally won." The plan worked well, almost to perfection. After giving chase for a while, I raised my hands. I said, "Petey has won, right?" There was no objection. Then Troy said, "Where the hell did he run to, man?" As we all sat there for a moment after the chase, exhausted and tired, we rested on a park bench. I told them, "Petey ran to the callejon to get away." Then we got another whiff of that terrible stench. We headed in the direction of where Petey went, and one of the guys happened to notice a sign. The sign was scratched up, and it read, "Dead End," but we didn't pay too much attention to it at that time. At the edge of the alley, we started calling for Pete. There we were hollering and making a lot of noise. As the clouds then rolled in, it made it hard to see. Then I noticed a strange look on one of the boys. I said, "Roy, what's up with you, man? What the heck?" Then we all looked up, just staring at those walls. Just then the hair stood up on the back of my neck. I said, "These walls must be at least 12 feet tall." At the entrance of the alleyway was actually gated, and it looked like Petey went into the alley to hide. We agreed to go in after him, but I contemplated. I was actually hoping that he was hiding nearby. 2 guys volunteered to wait outside by the gate. Then I said, I guess the rest of us have to go in. And they all agreed. Besides, it was getting late. I thought all of this for the sake of letting Petey win. I said, before getting in there, let's just make sure that he's not actually hiding out here somewhere. I told him to come out after I had been captured. If he's not out here, then we have to go in there. We split up and we started shouting and looking. On one side, there was some abandoned homes. Troy said, he wouldn't be here. He's just a rookie. There's no way he would have come here alone. On the other side of the alley was an old cemetery, and the smell of death and decay was all around. Then I noticed something rather odd and scary. Then I said, look at all the holes in the ground. At first I thought that someone had dug new holes. Maybe the groundsmen were adding more plots. But these plots or graves already had headstones. It was strange because there seemed to be a lot. There was no way Petey would be hiding out here, and not to mention, of course, this terrible stench. I saw a lot of empty graves. I thought it was weird. I left wondering where all the bodies went. So there was only one place he could have gone, and we all knew there's only one way to find out. With 5 of us looking for him, it wouldn't take long. We'd find him and go home soon, I had no doubt. The gate was wrapped with a chain and a lock, but he was skinny. He probably squeezed through. I opened the old lock using a key. I used a big rock, breaking and entering. I've done it a time or two. We've got sticks and rocks, whatever we could find, just in case we might have to use them in a brawl. I had one particular thought that crossed my mind. Why in the world were these walls of the alley so tall? We all marched into the darkness like a chain gang as I noticed dark clouds still covering the moon. And to make things worse, it actually started to rain. I thought we had better find out our friend very soon. Just then, we all noticed some sort of blinking light and something moving in and out of the shadows. Roy said, man, I don't like this. Something ain't right. What do you think it is? I nervously said, I don't know. We arrived at the blinking light. It was a barricade. Beyond it, we noticed that the alley had a bend. We heard a noise that we thought Petey made, and we got very quiet. Then we heard it again. The barricade was dim, but we could almost see, so we all spread out and started looking around. Then once again, we started calling out to Petey. Then suddenly I noticed something on the ground. I said, this looks like blood. I think we might be hurt. I think he might be hurt. Then we all noticed something a little further ahead. I said, hey, this rag looks like a piece of his shirt. It was full of blood, and I thought, man, is he dead? Please no, Petey, no. So once again, we continued to call out his name. Then we heard movement ahead of us by the wall. Sorry, guys, let me drink water. So once again, we continued to call out his name. Then we heard movement ahead of us by the wall, and we ran in the direction from where it came. Then I said, why isn't he responding to our calls? Then we heard a howl that stopped us in our tracks. Our instincts were to stop and find a place to hide. While in hiding, we saw something huge and black. We didn't move or say a word. We were petrified. I know we were scared. We were all short of breath. There we were, huddled together on the ground. Whatever that noise was, it scared us half to death. Then I thought, what in the world made that sound? Just then I noticed something that I hadn't before, that the ground was very hard and very smooth. I said, I've never seen an alley with a concrete floor. Then Troy said, I was thinking that same thing too. Then we heard screaming. It seemed distant at first. We couldn't see that clearly. The light was too dim. Our so-called expedition went from bad to worse. Then we saw Petey, and something was after him. I guess he was hiding, at least that's what we thought. That was exactly what I'd do in a similar circumstance. He probably ran when it discovered his hiding spot. Then he was running from it. That was his only chance. Some of the guys wanted to go back to the gate. They were so terrified, they actually started to cry. I said, come on, guys, we can't leave Petey this way. Somehow we've got to help him. We've got to try. Petey has always been there for all of you, as I recall. I know it's Petey in there, but what if it were you? I got mad and I said, come on, guys. Come on, boys, grow some balls. All the while, I was trying to convince myself, too. We heard Petey screaming. He was getting close. He ran out of the shadows and within our sight. One of the guys said, "Hey, look, man, there he goes." Then Troy said, "It looks like he's been in a fight." He wasn't that far away when he slipped and fell. Then some sort of creature jumped on his back. I tried to make out what it was, but I couldn't tell. I couldn't believe my eyes. He was being attacked. Some of the guys panicked and started screaming. 2 guys ran for the gate, and 3 of us ran to our friend. I thought, is this really happening, or am I dreaming? In the moonlight, we could clearly see Petey again. Petey quickly slipped away and ran into the shadows. It gave him a little time to hide and catch his breath. The way he was moving around, he looked rattled. He looked exhausted, and he was a bloody mess. Oh my gosh, Petey. That's crazy, you guys. Petey! Petey, are you going to survive, Petey? I need you to survive, Petey, please. Petey. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. What are you guys up to? Thank you for being here, you guys. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate all the likes, too. Whoever liked it, you guys are the best. Anyone that rewatches this later, thank you. I appreciate it. Whether you were here for a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I appreciate it. I'm grateful for you guys. And I send you good vibes every single day. What are you guys up to right now on our little break? What's everyone up to? Thank you for the hearts. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. It reminds me of those songs where it's like the freaks come out at night. The freaks come out at night. The YouTube freaks come out at night. And the later you're out, the later you're on, the freakier the freaks get. That's the crazy part. Cowboys Nation, do you have a page so that I can follow you as well, so I can subscribe? Oh, Petey better survive. And we need to find out what's going on with this creature, too. Because that's crazy. I can't do blood either. If I was to see my friend all tore up and bloody, I'd have to find my cojones, too, you know, because I feel like my adrenaline would jump up and do what it needed to do, but I don't know. Easier said than done, I think. Thank you guys. Yeah, you got to do all the giant research for both of us, okay? Please. Welcome to my book club, guys. Thank you for being here as I read for 10 minutes and talk for 5. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate every comment, every like. I appreciate all the hearts. You guys have no idea how grateful I am for you. I hope you have all had a wonderful Monday. I'll send you amazing, loving, wonderful, happy vibes for an awesome Tuesday. I know the 10 minutes goes by fast, but I feel like it's too long in between when I see you guys. You go, girl. Keep up the great work. You are awesome, and thank you for acknowledging your followers and the great content. Santino, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so grateful for you. Yes, this is my dad's book. I just want to read it and get it out of the way, and then I'll read another book that I like, and then I'll take suggestions. I love reading any book, so I'll read whatever you guys want. Whatever kind of books you guys like. Anything that I haven't read would be cool, too. But I'll reread a book. Who cares? I love reading. Reading is good for the soul. Everybody should be reading. Or listening to me read. I'm just kidding, guys. But I do appreciate you guys being here. Thank you, thank you. So tomorrow is going to be a terrific Tuesday for all of us. All the good vibes. Terrific Tuesday. Wonderful Wednesday. Thankful Thursday. Fabulous Friday. I am going out of town. I'm going to post videos, but they're going to be very different because I'm going to be not home. I'm going to be in a whole different country. So I will still post, but it won't be the content that you guys see now. But I'll still be sending you good vibes every single day that I'm out there. You know, you're in my prayers and in my wishes. Oh, thank you, Tanir. Shout out to my dad. Cowboys Nation. You're not a big reader? You can be a listener then. Thank you for being here. I'm grateful for it. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining in. If you're just here, we're reading for 10 minutes and we're talking for 5. So come back in 10 minutes if you want to talk again. Otherwise, listen for the next 10 minutes. And let's see where we're at. Oh, yeah, 30 seconds. We got this. Eventually, Tanir will show me how to do polls and stuff. And then when I can do polls, I'll ask you guys what books. You guys can tell me what books to get so I could buy it. And then I'll ask everybody what time's best to stream, and we'll do all that. Thank you for the safe travels. I appreciate that. It's an 8-hour drive, so I am very grateful for the safe travels. Got to get there in one piece. One real piece. All right, what do we got? 5 seconds. Okay, you guys, let's do 10 more minutes of the alley. The way he was moving around, he looked rattled, he looked exhausted, and he was a bloody mess. As he ran frantically, he would turn to look around, and whatever was chasing him was close behind. He fell, and I caught him before he hit the ground. Then we heard that devilish howl one more time. He was in shock. His clothes were ripped to shreds. I tried to help him up. He said, "Let me go. Get away. Let me go. It's after me. It's after me," was all he said. We couldn't restrain him as he bolted for the gate. I shouted at the 2 guys that were waiting outside. I said, "Hey, try to stop Petey. He's running your way." They shouted back, "What the hell is going on, guys? We hear a lot of screaming in there. Are you okay?" We had a ways to go before we'd get to the end, and whatever it was after Petey started howling. We were about halfway through around the bend. When I looked back, I could see the eyes of that thing. I said, "Hurry up, guys. This thing is right on my ass," but they were already running as fast as they can. I thought we were not going to make it. It was just too fast. We had no weapons, so we couldn't make a stand. I said, "Keep running, guys, and head back to town, and make sure you close the gate, but don't lock it. Somehow I've got to slow this damn thing down. I'll try to using this cherry bomb I have in my pocket." We all knew that the thing would eventually catch us. Somehow, some way, I had to buy us some time. Along with the cherry bomb, I had some matches, and if I had a chance, I would try to render it blind. First, I had to somehow draw its attention to me, so I started screaming, hoping it would give chase. It stopped as it saw me crawling into some debris. I thought, it worked now, the guys could get away. It was coming for me then, and I had no time to spare, so I quickly ran and jumped inside of an old refrigerator. It lost sight of me, so it started looking everywhere, but I knew that it would find me sooner or later. The fridge had no door and was laying on its side, and from my vantage point, I could only see the wall. All things considered, it was a good place to hide, but in the dim moonlight, dark shadows were all I saw. The shadows of it looked huge as it moved about. I could hear it and even smell it, and man, it reeked. As it started looking away from me, I crawled out. I had to find me another hiding spot so I could see. I quickly ran and hid behind a bunch of railroad ties, and that was when I saw its eyes clearly once more. Then I noticed something peculiar about its eyes. It was weird, almost as if I'd seen those before. As I hid, I noticed that I was lying on a metal grate. It seemed to be some sort of drain that was there. The creature stopped moving, and it looked my way. For a second, I thought it saw me. I was so scared. I didn't move a muscle. I tried not to make a sound. It was so close I could actually hear it breathing. I laid there motionless as it started sniffing around. It suddenly moved away when it heard screaming. The guys were yelling out. They were in the clear, but as for me, I was hiding, just trying to sit still. Then I thought, what in the hell are you doing here? If this thing catches you, you're going to be killed. The guys were safe. I had to make my move, so I reached around to pick up something to throw. I grabbed a hold of an object. It felt like an old shoe. With my cherry bomb in hand, it was time for me to go. The creature was frantically searching for me, making weird noises like teeth grinding and snorts. I got up and threw the shoe, hoping I wasn't seen. Then I lit the fuse when I crawled behind an old door. The creature heard the noise, and it ran to investigate. That was what I was hoping for, but I had to run quick. I couldn't believe that the creature went for the bait. In anger, it howled, knowing that it had been tricked. As the creature turned to pursue its now escaping prey, the bomb went off, and for a moment it was blind. It was so bright for a second it turned night into day. I hoped the diversion had bought me enough time. I could run fast. In fact, I was the fastest of my crew. I ran so fast that my feet hardly touched the ground. How fast would you run if the devil was chasing you? Okay, it wasn't the devil, but maybe one of its hounds. When I got to the gate, I noticed that it was locked. That meant I had to open it or squeeze through. I looked around for a key, but I couldn't find a rock. I wasn't worried, though, because I was skinny, too. I was finally out of the alley as I turned to run away. In anger, the creature began to screech and howl. I thought, now I can see it when it gets to the gate. Are you kidding? I'm not sticking around to find out. Then I realized why the alley walls were so high. At first, they reminded me of King Kong. Just like the movie, later you saw the reason why. They were just trying to keep him inside all along. If you believe that, then you believe in Santa Claus. I ran quickly to catch up with the rest of my crew. I tried to figure out what in the hell was chasing us. Maybe it was an animal that escaped from the zoo. I was so scared that I ran all the way down the road. I didn't stop until I made it all the way to the park. Just then I noticed that Just then I thought my heart was going to explode when I heard something moving around in the dark. I screamed like a little girl and I started to run again. Then someone shouted, "Stop, man, don't be afraid." Then when they came out of hiding, it was my friends. The guys were waiting for me. They actually waited. I was so tired from running, I just had to sit down. I said, "One of you guys, keep an eye on the callejon. Let me know if you see anything moving around." I said, "I need to rest a little bit, then we'll head home." I said, "Did you guys see Petey? He was a mess." Roy said, "I had him, then he threw me on my butt. And he was bleeding a lot from his back and his chest. It looked like he had been clawed. He was badly cut." I said, "Where did he go when he ran past the gate?" And they all pointed in the direction that we came. They asked, "Why did you and Petey come this way?" I said, "Man, I just wanted Petey to win his first game." Troy said, "Tell us, man, what the heck did you see in there?" I said, "I didn't get a good look at it. I'm not too sure. I didn't see it too clearly, but it was as big as a bear. But I saw its eyes, and they seemed a little peculiar. I could hear it and smell it every time it got near. I'll tell you some more on the way back to town. Right now, I just want to get the hell out of here because I've got a feeling that that thing is still around." Suddenly, we all heard something in the distance, and the sounds we heard sent chills up my spine. Then we saw something near the alley's entrance. All of a sudden, I wasn't tired anymore. I was just fine. We didn't stop until we were on familiar territory, and after running a couple miles, we were beat. I said, "Right now, we have to come up with a story. Someone's about to ask what happened to Pete." We were just about home, so we relaxed a little bit. We stopped to discuss what story would be best. I said, "Guys, we're all going to be in a world of shit. I know we're all going to be blamed for this mess." When we got to our hood, the police were everywhere. Then I said, "Man, what's the deal with all the cops?" They were probably looking for us, but I didn't care. How is my friend doing? That was my only thought. The guys got nervous because it was past curfew. They were in trouble anyway. We had to get home. I said, "Okay, I'll find out about Pete and I'll call you." So we dispersed as I went to Petey's house alone. I saw the paramedics or EMTs go into his house. Then after a minute, they bolted out of the door, followed by Mr. H, Petey's dad, and his spouse. Then she ran back in and collapsed on the floor. Mr. H ran in quickly and immediately picked her up. Some of her comadres quickly attended to her. After a minute, Mr. H came outside rather abrupt. I could see that he was upset. He was really stirred. I had to know what was going on, so I started to run. Then someone saw me and asked if I was all right. He said, "They found Petey half dead and called 911. The police think that you guys were in a gang fight." He said they were checking every house on this street. If I were you, man, I'd stay away from Pete's father. He thinks that you guys tried to kill his son Petey. The cops say if he dies, it could be manslaughter. I had to go see Petey, whatever the circumstance. I hid behind trash cans, trees, and even police cars. One of the EMTs was still with Petey in the ambulance. I couldn't see what he was doing. I was still too far. Man, I just had to get closer to see how Petey was. To avoid being seen by the cops, I had to sneak. Then someone from a window said, "What's up, cuz?" I said, "Primo, be quiet. Man, go back to sleep." Then I saw Mr. H, Mr. Hernandez, starting to pace. He was waiting outside for one of the EMTs. He seemed very upset by the look on his face. He wanted to go inside to be with his son Pete. I saw him go into the ambulance and he sat down. He then started examining Petey from head to toe. After a few minutes, an EMT went in as he got out. What Mr. H was looking for, I really don't know. Suddenly, he was surrounded by a group of men. They gave him their full attention while he talked. They were his homies. They were about 9 or 10. They were noticeably troubled from what I saw. Then, after he was done talking, they started to leave. But first, they paid their respects to Mrs. H, of course. I didn't have a clue as to what he said to his homies. They left in a hurry. I didn't see them anymore. His wife was still inside as he stood in the front yard. He was crying with his hands folded over his head. Is Petey gonna be okay, you guys? Petey, please. I need you to survive, Petey. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Lala. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you. I hope you have a great night, too. Get some rest. I know you're in a different time zone, so I appreciate you hopping in here at all. Thank you so much for stopping by. Petey's gotta survive. You could tell my dad grew up in a not so good neighborhood, but we've all been there. We live for better days and better nights every day. Thank you so much for the 15 likes, you guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I know there's not even 15 people in here anymore, so I'm grateful for each and every like. Thank you guys so much. Marvelous Monday. Terrific Tuesday. Wonderful Wednesday. Thankful Thursday. Fantastic Friday. Spectacular Saturday. And Sunday Fun Day. That's the week for all of us. Sending you amazing vibes. Terrific Tuesday. Wonderful Wednesday. Thankful Thursday. Fabulous Friday. Or did I say fantastic? Either way. Fantastic and fabulous Friday. Spectacular Saturday. And Sunday Fun Day. I'm sending you all good vibes for health, wealth, happiness, love, kindness, respect. I hope you guys are all able to do as much as you want to do during this week. Tania puts in work. She is, I admire her because she puts in the work. She is steady, going live all the time, videos all the time. I'm very new to the CapCut and editing. I'm figuring it all out. I'm barely like, how do I do this? How do I do that? But I'm trying. You are definitely an inspiration and you make me raise my goals. Anyone that does that is a blessing. You are a blessing and I'm grateful for you. Yes, thank you guys for coming. Anyone that stopped by at all from Tanir's page, thank you so much. If you don't know who Tanir is, she is a wonderful, wonderful friend of mine here on YouTube. Someone I admire, someone I look up to. You can go to her for inspirational content, makeup. She's a self-taught makeup artist and she gives out all the gems. She's not a gatekeeper, okay? She does the thing. She drops the gems in the lives. It's HERR, Voices of Victory. Please go follow her. Please go subscribe. Check out her videos. Let her know I sent you if you did. If you do, she is the best. She is wonderful, amazing, and you should follow her because I do. I subscribe to her. I can't wait for her merch to come out. As soon as I get the shirt, I'm gonna learn a new song, maybe even a dance, and I'm gonna post a short with it. I might even go live with it, absolutely. I am so grateful for everyone that has joined today. Thank you guys for coming. I'll be doing this once a week with you guys. I'll be reading for 10 minutes and then talking with you guys for 5. We'll see how it goes. I'm liking the 10 minutes and the 5 so far. It goes by kind of quickly, actually, for me anyway. And since I'm just starting out, I'll probably do another 10 minutes and then I'll talk to you guys for 10 more minutes and wrap it for tonight. And then we'll figure it out for next time. But every time I go live, it will be for at least an hour. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I am super grateful for you all. I will be sending you all amazing, loving, wonderful, happy vibes for a wonderful week ahead. And anyone that has a page, please comment under any of my shorts or any of my videos. I love to subscribe and support. I know some of my people know I go to their pages and I'll just go spam a bunch of comments just to show support, because I'm that kind of person. I feel like everybody deserves to know that they're doing a great job all the time. So keep your head up, do your best, keep going, and thank you guys. See how much time we got? 30 seconds, you guys. Thank you for texting me. A little late, don't you think? All right. This is my last 10 minutes today, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. We'll talk for 5 more minutes before I'm done. But my last 10 minutes of reading, if you've joined me so far, I am so grateful for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's get into the last 10 minutes of The Alley by Mingo Rubio Jr. on this fine Monday evening or night for you guys. Thank you for showing so... Thank you for stopping by so late. I know it's so late over there, but I'm grateful for you. Last 10 minutes of reading. Thank you. Yes, Tanier, we love you. Orange Heart Gang over here. All right, here we go. Mr. H looking for, I really don't know. After a few minutes, an EMT went in as he got out. What Mr. H was looking for, I really don't know. Suddenly, he was surrounded by a group of men. They gave him their full attention while he talked. They were his homies. There were about 9 or 10. They were noticeably troubled from what I saw. Then, after he was done talking, they started to leave, but first they paid their respects to Mrs. H, of course. I didn't have a clue as to what he had said to his homies. They left in a hurry, and I didn't see them anymore. His wife was still inside. As he stood in the front yard, he was crying with his hands folded over his head. I said, man, he is really hurting. He's taking it hard. This can't be what it looks like. Is Petey dead? I finally made it to the ambulance undetected. What I saw through the window broke my heart. There were so many wires and tubes connected. He was covered in blood. His clothes were all ripped apart. I couldn't hold it back any longer. I started to cry. I looked up and I could see Mr. H through the window. He asked the paramedic, is he going to be all right? The EMT replied, he's hurt bad. I just don't know. I knew that the ambulance would be leaving soon. I tapped on the glass to see if Petey would respond. The monitors showed life, but Petey barely moved. He was at death's door, but he was still hanging on. Suddenly, he started to violently jerk and shake. He was strapped tight. He wasn't going anywhere. I yelled to one of the EMTs, hey, I think he's awake. Then Petey looked right at me, as if I wasn't even there. The EMTs rushed in as Petey struggled to get free. Once again, he had that terrified look on his face. He screamed, let me go, it's after me, it's after me. His legs were moving as if we were running in place. He kept looking around as if something were there. Petey was out of his mind. He was trying to get out. His yelling and screaming had the EMTs scared, so they had to use tape to cover Petey's mouth. The monitors were all lit up, setting off the alarms. They struggled to try to get the kid under control. One of them said, I'll give him a shot. Hold his arm. Then he told the driver, pack it up. We've got to go. Petey's body went limp as the sedative took effect, and by that time, a lot more people were looking on. Suddenly, someone grabbed me by the back of my neck, and I could tell by his grip this guy was very strong. He pulled me off to the side. I was caught unaware. I still couldn't see who it was, but I knew his voice. It was Mr. H. Just then, he lifted me up into the air. He said, what the hell did you guys do to my boy? All of a sudden, he slammed me hard to the ground. I could tell the big man wanted to cause me pain. I tried to talk. My lips were moving, but no sound. Then I got my breath and said, wait, let me explain. He was in a rage. I'd never seen him so pissed. Then he picked me up and he went to slam me again. Then Mrs. H said, stop it. Don't you know who that is? Petey's mom said, es el Minguito, mijo's best friend. He released me. Man, I thought I was going to die. He said, I just lost my head, son, for a second or two. Then he embraced me and I almost started to cry. He said, I'm sorry, Mingo. I hope I didn't hurt you. Just then, the ambulance started down the street. Mr. H and Mrs. H would follow them to the hospital. Then he said, come with us, Mingo, to go see Pete. When we get there, you can tell me what you know. I said, are you sure? I don't want to be a bother. He said loudly, I insist. Now get your ass in the van. I said, okay, but first I need to call my stepfather. He said, don't worry, I'll call him as soon as I can. Upon arriving at the hospital, Petey was in the ICU, and we all went to the lobby that was down the hall. We waited for an hour, but still there was no news. Then Mr. H said, let's go outside and make a call. Before he called, he said, sit over by the fence. I said, okay. I didn't think too much of it at that time. Then I thought, this really doesn't make any sense. I could barely hear him. Then I heard, Mingo's fine. He had a lengthy conversation with my stepdad. I could only hear bits and pieces of what he said. Then I faintly heard, yeah, man, he looks really bad. Then he said, sí, lo mismo, del domingo y el Fred. He got my attention when he said my dad's name. Their conversation wasn't just about Pete or me. Then he said, yeah, man, it kind of looks the same. I didn't understand why he was trying to be so discreet. The bits and pieces that I heard made me curious. Then I heard, I really don't know, I need to be sure. It made me somewhat nervous. It sounded serious. Then I heard, yeah, I know, man. It's going to kill her. Her. What they were talking about, I really had no clue. I had to get closer, so I started walking that way. Then he changed the subject and said, you too. Also, yeah, oh man, no problem. Trust me, Mingo's okay. Then he hung up abruptly and said, well, that's done? I said, what were you talking about? What's wrong? He said, never mind. Now what happened to my son? I said, okay, but I don't understand what's going on. I saw that he had a concerned look on his face. When I began, I felt that he had sensed my remorse. As I was about to tell him what had taken place, his wife came walking out of the hospital doors. He said, hold on, kid, as he got up to go meet her. She approached him holding papers in her hand. She said, these were just given to me by the nurse, but I can't read them. I left my glasses in the van. She said, you read it. Tell me what they're saying. He started to read it and said, what gang activity? She said, ¿Qué? Que Dios mío, my mijo is in a gang? He said, this looks like a waiver of responsibility. As he continued reading, the more disturbing it got. He read on, trying to make sense of what it meant. What he was reading seemed to trouble her a lot. His insurance won't cover a gang-related incident. He stopped reading it because she started crying. I could tell that he had a hard time holding it in. He said, don't worry, I'll figure it out. Now go inside. I'll be right in right after I find out what's happening. He walked her to the door and then gave her a kiss. And then he turned to me and said, start talking, kid. I'll go crazy, boy, if I don't get to the bottom of this. If you guys didn't hurt my son Pete, then who did? All I know is that my son went with you guys tonight. Then he gets home bleeding and almost dead. Then I just read that he's been hurt in a gang fight, and right now he's in there hanging on by a thread. Mingo, is there something I missed or I don't know? I said, I'm sorry, Mr. H. I'm so sorry. It's all my fault. I told him to go hide in the callejon. I told him to go, so he ran to hide in the alley with the high walls. When we went to find him, he was nowhere around. I should have never told him to go into the alley to hide. It was then we started hearing some strange sounds, so we went inside looking for him. 2 guys stayed outside. He said, alley, callejon, walls. Mingo, what the? You're not making sense. Just tell me where you went. Then he said, wait a minute. You mean the aqueduct? He asked me questions as if he knew what I meant. Is it on the other side of town by the old Panteon? Are the gates and walls over 10 feet high? And are there lots of fields around there, some old homes? Mingo, is this where you guys were playing tonight? I said, Mr. H, that's what I've been trying to tell you. We tried calling him, but he wouldn't answer back. That's where we all were when all hell broke loose. That's where we were when Petey was attacked. Mr. H said, what about the gate? Wasn't it locked? You couldn't climb it, so how did you get inside? I said, well, I busted the lock open with a big rock. Petey squeezed through the gate. Later, so did I. We tried to find him, but it was just too dark to see. We heard screaming, but he was too far away. And when I tried to help him, he just ran past me. He was running from something, trying to escape. He was all bloody and screaming when he ran by. All of a sudden, we heard what sounded like a howl. Just then I said, we've got to get out of here, guys, because whatever is chasing Petey is after us now. He said, did you see it? Did you see the creature? I said, no, it was too dark. All I saw were shadows. He said, are the guys all right? No one else got hurt? I said, we're all fine. No one but me got that close. Then I said, what's the deal with all those questions? What's going on? You're starting to freak me out. I waited for a response of that weird inquisition. Then I said, I know the place. Then he said, I know the place you're talking about. Then I said, what do you mean you know the place? You make it sound like you've been there before. He knew that I was pissed by the look on my face. He said, I'm really sorry, kid. I just had to know more. I said, why did you put me through all this bullshit if you already knew how your son Petey was hurt? He said, I didn't want to accept it. I didn't believe it. Even after I examined his body, I had to be sure. Suddenly, we noticed some people were coming out. He said, we only have a few minutes, not too much time. So I'll try to explain to you what this is all about. I'm pretty sure it's going to blow your mind. But please don't mention a word of this to my wife. Don't say anything to her of what you guys saw. You see, she thinks his wounds are from a fight. I'll have to tell her that he was bitten and clawed. I said, oh my God, Mr. H, your wife doesn't know? He said, no, and telling her your story won't help. She won't believe it, but the truth has to be told. Heck, I'm having a hard time believing it myself. I need to know the story. I need to know the story. Petey better not die, though. I know that. Something better happen. Thank you guys for being here on my first book club of reading for 10 minutes and talking for 5 minutes. All right, how are we going to do this? Let me go here. We read 34 pages. Hi, Jeremiah. Hi, Regina. Hi, Lala. Hi, Cowboys Nation. Betty, don't know what you said, but hello. Tanir, you the real one. Yes, you are a regular in my book club, Jeremiah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for being here. You have no idea how much it means to me. My heart. My heart. I didn't know you did live stream. Enjoy your inspiration, good vibes, short videos. Hope you're having an awesome day. Subscribe months ago. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I did not used to go live. Tanir is an inspiration. You guys have to go check out her page. Please go subscribe to her. It is worth it, I promise. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the kind words. I really appreciate it. And I'm so glad that it makes your day too. I hope you're having a wonderful day as well. I hope you have a great week ahead of you. I'm sending you guys all the good vibes you already know. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Lala. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Regina. I know it's super late for some of you guys where you guys are at. So I really appreciate you guys being here, especially on my first book club reading. So we will be back next week. I'll figure out the day when we get back, okay? When I get back from my trip, I'll figure it out because I want to be able to support some of my favorite YouTubers as well. But for now, I thank everybody that was here. Thank you for every like. Thank you for all the hearts. Thank you for all the comments. I really appreciate you guys. I'm sending you wonderful vibes for a wonderful week. Thank you so much. Thank you, universe. Thank you, God. And thank you, YouTube. We'll see you guys later.